Principles of Passion.
Passion. A powerful, compelling emotion or desire for something.
Hey, this is Chris Thomas here on IntellectualRadio.com. Learned a lot there, and I've done it on a bigger platform, and I followed my passion.
Here's your host, Chris Thomas, with Denora Robles and Dominic Cimino on IntellectualRadio.com.
Those of y'all joining us, we appreciate it. This is our first episode on Instagram, third episode of Principles of Passion. And I mean, what I'm trying to do here is bring some people together, I think, to inspire some people. I want to introduce first guest, Ernie Scatton. Ernie, I mean, tell me a little bit about what you do and why you're here.
I am 18, almost 19-year veteran in Chicago radio. Started with sport radio and have now graduated into WGN AM 720. I do commercials there. I engineer, do some of the stuff that's on the other side that you guys can't see right now.
Yeah.
I've done in radio, and I'm extremely interested to sit down with all of you. I've been watching, I've been seeing what you guys are doing, so I'm impressed with.
And that's why I'm here, to be impressed myself, just by, and not even in an impressed sense, just to be inspired by some stories that I've heard over the past 10 to 15 years about just people following their passion. I think that can get away from some of us.
Powerful.
I think that it can be a hindering process, right? And get to that point of what our true passion is. So again, my boy Ernie, our first guest, and then I also have.
I'm the first. I'm the inaugural guest.
Well,
I'm the very first guest.
Yep,
I
first
like
guest.
it.
You're setting the tone. You're setting the
You've
tone.
inspired me.
I like
You've
it.
inspired me with radio, man, and so I appreciate
I was
that.
always told, I got a face for radio, so this is different. I might show people what I actually look like, and they don't just hear the voice. But no, it's good. I enjoy doing this. It's fun, and like I say, watching you do, with the passion. I've seen, and you may not know, you guys, but I've known Chris now probably 15, 16 years, maybe even longer than that, since when you lived on East.
We'll go 15 to 20.
Between 15 and 20 years. So I've kind of watched him grow as well. I watched him have his son and become the man that he's today. And it's an impressive journey to have known him from before to now. It's an impressive journey, and
Thank you.
yeah, no, it's what you're doing right now and how you're doing it it takes guts, but it takes a passion, like you say, to be able to do this.
Like, to your point, like what I'm trying to do is try and be inspired and to inspire. I got my co-hosts. We didn't let y'all get to talk. I wanted to introduce the main man of the show.
That was on me.
But I got my co-host, Denora,
Hi.
and then Dominic as well.
What's
Thank
up?
y'all. Thank y'all for walking on this journey.
I like the
with
squad, just so y'all know. I like the squad.
Squad up.
Appreciate
Squad
it.
up.
I like the squad.
So again, what kind of prompted me for this show is over the past 3 years, I've had a chance to just really mentor some people that were amazing to me, and then like they inspired me, right? And then also over the past 10 years, I've had a chance to place a number of people in Fortune 500 companies that have also inspired me with some of their stories. Where there was a common similarity amongst the two is that the people to me that were great, like even when you look at the 18 to 24 demographic, or you look at the 25 and over demographic, the people that were great were the people that were following their passion. You know what I mean? And what I wanted to do is, like, trust me, I have fallen off my way quite a few times following my passion. But I think in the past 10 years, right, when you look at a big picture, but in the past 2 to 3 years, I've really tried to reconcile with my past and make sure that I follow my passion, right? Let the past be the past, and go hard with what you want to do for the future.
And if you keep looking back, you're going to bump into something.
That's it. I love it. Inspiration.
For real. You keep
By
looking
the
back,
young Ernie.
How can you walk forward if you're looking behind you all the time? You can't. You kind of just have to let stuff go at a certain point.
And so with that, let me open the phone lines. We're here on IntellectualRadio.com. For those of y'all tuning in on Instagram, we appreciate it. Phone number right there, 708-223-8953. Lines are open if people want to call in. If you're following us from Instagram, from IntellectualRadio.com, you can follow me on Your Passion First, YourPassion1st.com. What's your Instagram?
So here's and it does. I understand what it does for people, and I understand the process and why you need it. I don't.
Okay.
So I don't have it.
So Strike You, what's your social media?
Okay, no, real quick though, my daughter also said that I'm too old for Instagram.
No.
You got a phone?
My daughter told me I'm too old for Instagram.
That's another podcast.
Never that. I'm 26.
Said, Dad, if you ain't famous, if you're not famous and you over 40, you can't be on Instagram. I was like, okay.
What about you?
My Instagram IG is Jump On My Vibe.
Jump on my
follow
vibe.
that.
Jump on my vibe.
Yeah, that's really nice. Domo Exodus. You can follow me. Little photography on there too. Do a little bit of everything.
This guy's
Good photography.
got just
Good
portraits.
Yeah.
Portraits.
As a photographer.
Little vision.
On it.
Yeah,
I'll show you after.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
On it.
I got a room that needs to be decorated. If I can show you pictures.
I'll take you through the whole gallery.
Oh, I like it.
So again, we're on, Principles of Passion. Just trying to, I was inspired by the stories that I've heard by people of different age, demographics from 18 to 24, 25 plus. I'm not going to tell my age, but I'm just saying 26 for life. I've truly been inspired. And so I wanted to try and open this up to people that are on the phone lines, 708-223-8953, people that are on Instagram. There's not a lot of talk about the hindrances that we face as we follow our passion.
True.
There's just not. You know what I mean? How people don't want to gloat, right? They don't want to boast, but they also want to be inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So where's the fine line of how do you be able to share your story? Like I'm going through stuff right now. You're going through stuff. You're going through stuff. We're all going through things in our life right now, but we're all following what we're passionate about. Yeah. Would you not say?
I am. I would hope that everyone at some point follows their passion. I mean, I just think it takes a while for some people to realize their passion. I was almost 30 before I realized that radio was cool, that that's it. I had been in the Navy. I had kicked around Norfolk, Virginia. I had a couple kids, got married. So I had done a bunch before I really realized that this is what works for me.
What's your passion, man?
I have more than one. I don't have a sole passion for work. I enjoy this. I love this. I love the idea of making something good that somebody out there can hear and say, oh, and it tickles their ears. It's like an eargasm. You know what I mean? And it has to be because you can't see what I do, but you can hear what I do, and I can make you feel what I do.
Yeah.
You heard that open. It's a new open. It's a new thing. It took 15, 20 minutes of me, but it makes somebody feel what it is. I described the passion for you. I had you, drop in a little something. I'll hook it up so you guys get it. Don't worry. I got y'all.
Thank you.
But I wanted to put something together. But that's the type of thing I can make stuff sound and better. Appealing. It appeals to you because everyone, I don't care what anyone says, hearing music makes you happy. Music makes me happy. So why can't spoken word? Why can't other things make you happy? It's my job in radio as imaging is to get you from that commercial back into that segment and enjoy the whole thing.
Right. I love it.
It's fun. I enjoy it. My kids are my passion too, and my wife.
Yeah, that's always first.
Yeah.
That's always first. Family's always family, and your
it's a given.
True
it's a given.
So for those of y'all just checking in, we appreciate y'all checking in. We're here on IntellectualRadio.com. We're trying to inspire, but be inspired, right? There's a lot of stories going on, and a lot of things in the media going on from people that I don't really know, that you don't really know. I wanted to bring it back to people that we know. Like, what are you going through in your daily struggle to try and still get through to your passion?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Me being obviously the oldest, being the oldest on the panel and all, the elder statesman. maybe dating myself. I honestly have children y'all age. I'm just wondering.
You lying right now.
I'll take that compliment.
I do. I have kids.
Young.
I just what drives you guys? First of all, when did you discover your passion, and how do you get driven every day to complete that passion? Because at a young age, I didn't want to do anything but party, have fun, enjoy. Now, I had kids young, but I incorporated that into my fun. And I did not want to get serious about anything until I found radio later. So being younger, how does that affect you guys? How do you get in there?
That's a great question. Well, for me, I'm in the transition of rediscovering my passion. So that's where it's difficult for me. And that's why I believe this show right now is helping me through that process, because we always speak of when it started and when it ended, but what about the in between? So I'm in the in between phase right now. And what's driving my passion is my goal, where I want to be, where I see myself, where my mindset is at. So, it took me to leave and discover a new one. So that's where I'm at currently.
I speaking to Chris on the way over here,
Yeah.
I've had many passions, and I believe I'll have many more before my time. Hopefully, knock on wood, I'll have many more
That's
before
good.
my time
That's
on
what
this
I'm
earth is
talking
over.
about,
And it's always going to evolve. It's always
Yes.
going to change. It's I had my first I didn't have, but I had my first grandchild. So now I have a passion for her, and I want my granddaughter to be the greatest she can be. And I want her to play every sport, because obviously sports is awesome. And she's going to be a great softball player. And I've already whispered in her ear how to do a little pit pat pat pat. I feel like that's what you got to do. But it's just, and Dom, for you, I know you. I'm assuming you're the youngest on the panel.
So me and Dom met through Year Up.
Ah,
which is a great organization, I think, giving back to the community right now and helping youth find their passion.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
it's a big thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
very
Plug.
good.
Sorry, plug.
You should have a bell and everything.
Ding, 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 ding.
So what is your passion, or do you know even your passion yet, Dom?
So I actually do. I found out my passion to answer when I'd say I found out about when I was about 16 or 17. I lucked out, I'd say, because my passion is life everlasting, and it drives me every day, like you said, which is I just love to show people that there's something better than just an average crummy day, that life is you woke up today, it's a blessing. There's so much to be positive about, and just even when times get rough, some people just need to talk. Some people just need to
That's it.
Some people just need to let it out, just be heard, and that's
so you're just like a nice dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just like
That's why
he's
cool.
good people.
My passion is
good people.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, but that's cool. And like I said, I hope you continue to have passion. You have more than just a passion in your life. I think everybody should have multiple passions. And why can't you have 5 and 10, 15 and 20 passions?
Right.
Right.
That's true.
And I think if you live your life like that and you're passionate about 1, 5, 10, 20, you'll become passionate.
So
always.
let's hone it back in a little bit. To your point, yes. The more passions you get, however, the more the levers need to be changed a little bit, right?
It's all a balance.
If you have these 5 passions and this is your top one, this is your second, this is your third, you have to prioritize them. You can't have all of your passions on 10 at all the same. And if you can, I'm trying to learn from you. I'm trying to learn from you.
I was going to say, why? I was just going to ask, why can't you? Why can't you?
You can. It's the more, because when you're passionate about something, you want to be a specialist about it. You want to be the best of the best about it.
I also argue, though, that I'm as passionate about my family as I'm about my job.
Well, and I don't want to, because I don't want this show to be about a couple things. Religion and family. I want it to be about workplace, right? We're all passionate about religion. We're all passionate about family.
Everyone's not passionate about religion.
You should be passionate about what you consider family.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone should be
passionate about what you consider family. I'm not talking about family blood, but what you consider family,
maybe your work
you should
family,
be passionate about that, and you should be passionate about how you earn a living, right?
So wouldn't I apply that same amount of passion to my job, to what I am passionate about, as I would apply to my everyday life as my family, my job? You know what I mean? I want to apply this to everything. I want to be ultimate.
But let me ask you this. And like, I want to jump into another thing here because I think our everyday sense, our every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on IntellectualRadio.com. Our goal is to talk about passions overall. I want to hone it in today on attitude. We're slipping a little beyond that, but let's wrap this up here in terms of just, I think my last thought on that is, yes, I would love to have numerous passions in life. And yes, that's my goal, is to be passionate about everything in life and to try and learn as much as I can about everything. But as I have started to learn where I'm good and where I'm not good, and where I'm comfortable at where I'm good and where I'm comfortable at where I'm not good at things, I've started to really shrink that down into some things that I know I can make a greater impact on me, my son, who's right here in this window drawing pictures, my life though, right? Where can I make a greater impact on the people that I interact with? And then how can I just do everything? I just want to, and that's what I see a lot too with the young 70s and 24-year-olds. It's like, I'm passionate about life. I just want to do everything. I just want to go get it. And I've seen that.
That's false.
But then how do you hone that in? And so in saying all that, what I really want to do is quick recap. Do you guys, you remember the 10 the principles? Let's just recap those real quick. Talk about kind of where we're trying to keep some sort of structure here, but also understand that there's a lot of things that y'all can offer out there that we're looking for. Calls in, but I'm waiting on them. But just what y'all can offer on how we can help each other, help ourselves follow our passion.
So yeah, like you said, just to recap from last week, we talked about do the right thing. Attitude is everything. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. You want to take a couple, Denora?
Sure. And believe in yourself, set goals, stay organized. 85% of all jobs are filled by networking. And diligence is the father of persistence. If you don't have an education, you better have a craft or a lot of money. Even if all three, nothing in life is guaranteed.
Hold on, I got to get this last one because my nickname growing up was Elite. Last one is Be Elite. So,
Be Elite. I want to give props to my former managing director, Jim Goodmiller. Thank you. Thank you for.
These are good. I like these 10.
What do you think about it? What do you think?
10. I like them. Who came up? Where they come from? Is this something that you?
You know what? So. I'll keep it short, is that when I started mentoring students, I wanted to like have something to bring to the table to them, and I didn't know what it was. And what I really wanted to do is try and hear what I've done for the mess ups, right? And the best, right? The best times. And I've messed up a lot in my life. And
you learn more from your screw-ups than you do.
I think we look at society in terms of how people have not been given what they need to get where they need. I was given it and I still messed up. And so I feel like for me, they got it worse off than I do, right? People that have been not given the right resources. They call them disenfranchised. They call them, there's a lot of names, right? I am so blessed that I've had that opportunity. But what I want to do is be able to, with my experiences, I talk with them and with people about difficulties they're facing in their life at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where my heart sits with it. Tangent. Anyone can stop me now.
Dingling business.
No, but we went through the 10 principles of passion. Let me ask anyone on the phone right now, 708-223-8953. We're here on IntellectualRadio.com. I'm going to ask Ernie this. I'm going to ask Dom and Denora this. And I'm going to ask anyone following us on Instagram. What's something in your life right now that you've had to overcome career-wise, but you've either been close to overcoming, not overcome, or still trying to overcome, but your attitude has been the piece? I'll shorten that. What is something that your attitude has controlled that has either been your destiny in your career or that has held you back in terms of still chasing a dream, a passion that you have right now? Ernie, I'm gonna kick it off.
My race.
You're right.
It's tough. I mean, I work, and I hate to say it like this, but I work in a world that's dominated by white males. And now also white females. I can count the amount of black people at WGN Radio on my fingers and come up short. Like, yeah, I still have fingers left to dig in my ears and stuff. You know, it's kind of always been like that. It was more so in sports, but now I'm in regular everyday conservative talk radio. Basically, it's always been tougher. It was tougher for me to succeed there. I had to prove that I could. I speak on the radio, so I've always had to speak. I don't want to get in trouble here, but I couldn't speak like I was from the street.
We want to keep our jobs.
I couldn't speak. I was from the street. I had to speak. But here's the thing: being adopted, I was adopted. You guys didn't know this. I was adopted. My mother's Puerto Rican. My father's Italian. I basically grew up in a white family in the 70s. I was never allowed to speak like I was from the streets. My mother was a teacher. My father was, a music. It wasn't about that. It was speak correctly. And my thing is this: speak like you were taught to speak. Use your words. Don't make stuff up. Don't. So I had to have that educated speak, the non-black speak, in order to survive in this business. Now, what I've never done is I've never changed. I'm still the same. Good. I am me. I never kissed a butt. I never pretended I was somebody that I wasn't. I wear hoodies and jeans I wear vests. I listen to hip hop. I wear my hat backwards when I want to, and I wear it forwards when I want to. When I meet people, I may be just how I am now. I may be in a hoodie. That's not what matters. And I've proven to them that that's not what defines me, and that's not what makes me successful. And I am successful. I am very successful at what I've done. I've worked at ESPN. I've worked at The Score. I've worked at WVON. I've worked at WGN. And I've been back to all of them multiple times. Yeah. I've been let go and I've been asked to come back. Right. So I know I'm successful. I know I can do this. You have to have self and your self-worth, and you have to live for something, and you have to. That's what it is. I'm not gonna sell. Yeah, it's a passion, but I'm not selling that out for you. And that's kind of how it's got to be.
That's what's up. That's what's up, bro.
Oh, look at that. I'm the first guy. You got a caller?
Caller's coming in. Hey, this is Chris Thomas. You are on IntellectualRadio.com. Who's this?
To make a comment, I was hearing that he was saying, the guy in the radio, WGCN, he was saying that he didn't see enough people of color. And I last got off the live when he said he was very successful. I just wanted to ask him a question. What's stopping him from starting his own? Is there anything stopping him from starting his own radio station where maybe he can employ people of color and see that change that he would like?
It's tough. I mean, listen, I would love nothing more than to be able to take every inner city kid, individual, and any person that I could and give them work. And I have taken kids that I can
hear us. Okay, I want to make sure you can hear us. Okay, can you hear us on the line?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what's your name and where you from?
Leo. I'm from Chicago.
Okay, awesome, man. What do you do for a profession, Leo? Before I let Ernie finish up.
Actually, I'm a year-up graduate, so I just actually got an internship at a company.
Awesome, man. I love it. We'll keep the company quiet for now, but big ups to you. Ernie, go ahead and finish.
I was saying I would love nothing more than to be able to employ, you know what I mean, or the North Side or the kids from the.
When you say sides, you mean people that are.
I mean, people that don't
have the resources.
People that don't have the resources. People that don't have that privilege. That aren't allowed. That don't maybe not have the chance to go to a Columbia. that may not have a chance to go to a school, a Northwestern or a DePaul or something along those lines. I would love that. Every kid out there is worth something. Every kid that hustles could be a banker, could be somewhere in business, because he has that mindset. He's out there making that money and that passion.
The passion.
I mean,
right?
You have to grind. And back to what you were saying, I would love nothing more than to be able to do that. But that's tough. And you can ask Earl, the gentleman in charge of this place. It's not the easiest thing in the world to produce this sort of thing and to keep it good and to keep it right. I work at WGN Radio, and there's a ton of money in that place, and we still struggle every day to make everything correct and right. And they just throw money at us. Like, I mean, to do this on your own, respect due. To do this on your own is tough. This is not an easy business, and I just don't know if I can struggle like that right now. To be completely honest.
I understand. It's just we're not going to see any change because we don't own the radio station. We don't own any of the clothes. Like, not to get off topic, we don't own any radio stations. The Black community as a whole, we don't own any of the major companies like that. So we're not going to get the money from the media to push their demographics and their narrative until we do anything like that. Maybe like a BET or something.
But you gotta get your own. You have to find a way, I feel, to get your own money, right? We speak on these terms of diversity and inclusion, right? But include yourself in that first, right? Like, how do you not group yourself into a group of people and try and get success from that? How do you group yourself into your own category and say, hey, I'm me, this is what I'm going to do? And I'm not saying let's steer clear of people that are of our same demographic, of our same race, but how do you define what you're trying to do for you and say, hey, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what I'm passionate about, and I'm going to go get it, right? And don't get me wrong, we need our support systems. We all have them, regardless of who we use. We all have certain people, certain groups, I hope. And for those that don't, that's why I want to be here, right? But the hopes are that we have a support system we can reach out to.
I just think there's so many kids in the inner city that don't have those support systems. And as much as for every one that you talk to, there's got to be 15 to 20 out there that don't have what I have, what this kid has, what these people have. Look, I grew up in Oak Park. I never wanted for anything. We weren't rich by any means, but I never wanted for shoes. I never had to work so I never had to go out and work to put food on my table as a child. Yeah, my dad made me work because I thought he was a jerk at the time, but it enabled me to become the man I am now. Right. It gave me my work ethic by him making me do that, but I didn't have to. Right. It wasn't. There's so many kids in this inner city that don't have 2-parent homes, that have a 1-parent home that has to go out and grind and do what he has to do to make. I'll never look bad on the kid that did something that he had to do to survive, to live. Now, once you've done that, you need to now take that next step and be positive and take that stuff and have that passion. But take that what you've done in the past and now make that good. And every kid has that opportunity. Everyone has that opportunity.
Are we helping you? And if not, I'm sure Dom and Denora have some answers here that they would like to.
I think it goes back to the attitude. I think you got to have that right attitude. So to have a positive attitude, and there's a lot of distractions, but at the end of the day, just have that positive attitude, and that's going.
Let me say one thing to the attitude. Attitude is so big to me. There was this one thing I used to do when I ran the Illinois Center for Broadcasting for a while, and what would happen is I would come in and speak to a class, and they inevitably, I was at ESPN at the time. They'd all, I want to come to ESPN and visit you. I'd be like, great. I'd hand my card out to say 25 kids, and I'd say, call me a Thursday at 11:30. Out of that, maybe 15 kids would call. First thing I would say was, oh yeah, hey, I'm in the middle of doing a commercial. Give me a call tomorrow at 9. You'd get maybe 10. I'd say, hey, check it out. I can't do this right now. You got to call me back next Tuesday. Whoever called at that point would be brought into my studio.
Why are you trying to steer people wrong like that, bro?
If you're not going to get through these 3
how do
obstacles,
you get through an interview
if you're not
process?
going to get it, listen. If you're not going to climb those 3 fences I gave you, which aren't hard, I don't need you in my station. I don't need you in my. I don't need you. You don't have that passion. You don't have what I need to take to the next level. And inevitably, you get like 6 students that will call that Tuesday, and those 6 will come in. And I can guarantee you, out of those 6, at least 4 or 5 of them got jobs coming out of there. It just is that attitude. Amazing. You have to have that attitude. I'm the best at it. They asked me. I was 30 when I got in the radio, and I said, "Why do you want to do this?" Because I can. because I can.
Like Columbus. Columbus got meetings with kings and queens just off Audacity. So I feel you with the attitude.
Attitude, you know. What's your name again, caller?
Leo.
Hey, Leo, man, we really appreciate you calling in. Stay in tune to the show, you know.
I will. I'll be there next week, Tuesday.
We appreciate it, man. I think we're gonna try and just bring as much people in as we can into this movement of just trying to continue to follow your passion and just not be hindered by life circumstances. You know, I think there's too many people out there unhappy trying to search for something, right? What are you searching for, though? How can we help with that? And we're no experts by any means, but we want to have an open platform for people to talk on. So again, Leo, we appreciate you calling in, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too, man. Bye. So again, we're here on IntellectualRadio.com.
Bunch of firsts today, man. I like it. I'm involved in
IntellectualRadio.com. Boom, boom.
Brings that back.
Phone number, if y'all tune in on Instagram. My little guy, he's trying to tune in with his mini, not really having a cell phone. 708-223-8953. Again, 708-223-8953. It's on the wall right there. You can follow me on Your Passion 1ST, Your Passion First. Listen, we're trying to just be an open platform. We're trying to learn. We're trying to grow. Yeah. We're trying to be vulnerable, put ourselves out there. You know what I mean? I'll leave it open. I'll pause here for a minute. Me and Ernie have talked a lot. What do y'all have to say just kind of about where we're trying to go with this? In keeping in mind, we're trying to go with attitude today, principles of passion overall, right? What would y'all have to say about that?
I would say it's mindset. I think it all begins in the mind. What you think is what you process, and that takes action after that. So it's all about what you think. Be careful what you put in your thoughts.
Right. In your environment, in your
the people you hang out with too. That's
huge.
That's really big. Who you surround yourself with. Are they aligned with the same, motivation and passion you are? Because if not, they're just holding you back.
Right.
For being the best you can be.
For sure.
And sign up for the Army.
Be all that you can be. Don, what do you think?
Do more before 9 o'clock than I do all day.
What do you think, man?
For me, what you were asking earlier, like things that you've dealt with, I actually had, it kind of goes hand in hand. So
just so you know, Denora knows your code right now.
That's okay.
I just saw it.
So like for me, it's like I think a lot. I have a really bad problem with I'm always thinking. My mind's always racing, and sometimes
not a problem,
but something to work on.
Okay.
But what's it called?
Overanalyze, maybe.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it that definitely takes a toll on my day, and I have to may have a composed attitude, but I understand. It kind of goes with this quote that I have: "Is style is a reflection of your attitude and your personality." So, and it goes along with what you said, Denora, about it's the company you keep. If you have that negativity or that attitude where you're getting this energy that's bad, that's all you're going to attract. And to stay in a good attitude and keep going, you will attract that positive energy, and you will attract what you want. Mm-hmm. You will see results based on your attitude.
Sure. Absolutely.
The young man's years ahead of himself. That
young buck, right?
Pretty good.
The wordsman over there.
Pretty good.
So I'll read out a couple definitions here. The arrangement of the parts of a body or figure. Right?
So that's figure.
Well, it's your figure, how you stand in a silhouette, how you are. People don't get to always see you from what you say, right? Or how you come off in a presentation. You know what I mean? They get first impressions, right? Mm-hmm. And can you come back from a first impression that's effed up?
It's rough. Tough.
In the workplace. How do you go on an interview and you bomb it? You basically bomb it. You have the nervous creepadoos is what I call it with my son. Right? He's trying to play the guitar and he just gets so nervous. The nervous creepadoos, right?
Yep.
How do you contain that emotion with just woosah and you think through it? You know what I mean? For sure.
Just don't beat yourself up for it. If I think that's the thing that holds us back, is that we continuously beat ourselves up after a failure or a mistake. Change your mindset, change your attitude.
If you look back, you're gonna bump into something.
That's good. I'm writing that one down.
Yeah, you can't look back at you have to be cognizant of where you're walking going forward, but you also have to be understanding of
you remember what you did. You remember what you did, and you take the good from every. Like,
exactly.
You don't get better unless you make mistakes. I don't care what anyone says. If you go through life and you've never made a mistake, you're lying. And two, you've never grown. Like, you're still the same stunted child that you're like. You have to make mistakes. That's how you get better at things. And I've taught my kids that, and me having kids kind of changed a lot of stuff for me, man, because it just, you can't be perfect anymore. You know they're going to make mistakes, and actually you kind of encourage the mistakes. You encourage the quirkiness.
The growth.
Yeah, it's growth. Exactly.
From the mistakes. Yeah.
You just can't keep making that same dumb mistake over and over. That's insanity.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So again, for anyone that wants to call in, we're looking for people. Call now. 708-223-8953.
Sunday.
Definitely.
No, for real. We're trying to get people to call in and either vent, right? We're all going through things we're trying to stay passionate to, right? But we all have barriers to overcome as we stay true to that. Call it, talk about those. Vent, release, tell me what's going on in your mind. Also, today, we're talking about attitude, right? And how attitude affects your path as you try and follow your passion. And so we want to be cognizant of people that have not had opportunities in their life, right? They haven't had the network. They haven't had what I think a lot of us have had for the most part. Some of us maybe not, but that have just missed another piece. Just that inspiration that, hey, I just need to talk about it. I need to hear someone else's story. I just need to be inspired. Kind of like how I've been for the past 10 years. I need to be inspired by other people's words of wisdom. You know what I mean? And so we're trying to keep it honed in on that. Again, IntellectualRadio.com. Can't say that enough to our awesome hosts. What I would say now is, in terms of attitude, Ernie, and on the radio and on Instagram, anywhere you're following us right now, what's a time when, let me put you on pause to think, let me put you two on go to tell me about a time when your attitude has kind of gotten the best of you, it's gotten the worst of you, but regardless, you were trying to stay true to your passion. I'll leave it open for both of you. And if you can't, don't worry. Ernie said don't let you out of this, but Ernie will pick up the slack for the two of you if you can't.
I'm ready. So, like, for me, I'd say it was a time when I was working at Menards, the good old Menards days for my people.
11% discount.
Can we get that 15%?
11% rebate. Now it's the 11% rebate. We wait at home to do anything until we get the 11% rebate at Menards.
This guy knows. He knows his stuff. It was so there was nights where like people would just call off, and you have to pick up that slack. It's rough. It always is rough. I had a lot going wrong this day. It doesn't sound that bad, but my dog passed away that week, so it was really on my mind. I grew up with them.
That's fam, bro.
Yeah, that was fam. Yeah. So that was going through my head heavy. I was just trying to get home one night, super tired, and my boss said, "You got to stay." And like closing is at 10. Usually get out at 11. Had to stay till 12 this night, and it was rough. And he told me it was like kind of like in increments. It was like you could go at 11, 11:15. Like I eventually seen what was going on, but like I was upset, but I still didn't let my attitude get the best of me. Like I had to look at the better of it to say like I put those extra hours in, I'll get extra money, but also that it was like a lesson. It's like it was a test, and how am I going to react? And am I going to make the right choice and react right, or am I going to make a poor choice and let my attitude get the best of me?
How'd you handle it?
Of course, I stayed. And, I didn't give him any attitude or anything. I wasn't passive aggressive or anything. I just, like I said about my mind racing, it took a toll on me. I was just like the hours just dragged. But besides that, I got through it, and yeah, I'd say I made a good impression.
Yeah, good, man. Awesome, man. That's great to hear stories of. Sometimes you just gotta say F it and go hard with what you really believe is the right thing to do in that time frame.
I will say this, Dom, you got a lot of years coming, buddy.
I know.
No, you did
ready,
absolutely
bro.
1000% correct.
Yeah.
And I speak to my sons all the time about check yourself. Like, you got to check yourself. It's not always about you. It's just not.
Right.
This world is not about
Business.
me.
It's about
you want it to
business.
be. I think every person, not everyone, but a lot of people want everything to be about them,
Right.
or a lot of it to be about them. And I'm guilty of that at times. I mean, I think a lot of people are. I've been guilty of that. But
Right.
As you get older, or maybe you realize younger, depending when you realize, I realize
older. To me
older.
like I'm younger.
Okay.
I'm just talking
You
26
realize
for
at some
life.
point that this world doesn't revolve around your universe, and that there's a lot more out there. And if you stay closed in like that, you'll never see it.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
true.
What about you, Denora?
I think in regards to attitude, well,
You've never had a problem at work when you just
I did.
You know what?
Well, going alongside what you were saying in regards to at work, I was always the only like Latina and the only female at the workplace. So that's always been a challenge. And I always had to not rearrange my attitude, not readjust it, but in other words, think before I speak.
I understand what you're saying. You have to mute.
Yeah,
Fine-tune a little bit.
Yeah, you have to mute.
More tact.
exactly. So I had a situation in that they had a stigma that, oh, she's going to be ready to pop off. She's going to say something. Watch, this is, I'm like, that would never happen. So I had to change my mindset and just push through it. And, not to,
Just fight through.
Yeah.
And control.
You got to learn to keep your head. And, I do not, I don't know if I've ever even spoken to my sons about this, but they were going through some tough times when I finished my run at ESPN. And they say in this business, you're not anything until you get fired. Well, the first time I got fired, I cried like a baby. I went home and I cried. I sat in my basement. My daughter sat on my lap. I was, but I was having a lot of trouble with my sons at the time and stuff that they were going through. One had been incarcerated for a little bit, just kind of stuff. And I was letting it affect me at work. And my boss kept telling me,
when you say letting it affect, like, what do you mean?
I was late. I was going to core form. I was being sloppy.
Right.
And my job, I'm the commercial guy. When I make a mistake, it carries money behind it.
Yeah.
If I play the wrong commercial, that company can say, I want my stuff for free. They can argue it and pretty much get it for free because an affidavit, which is a legal document, signed saying that this commercial played then, and it actually didn't. Right. So I was making mistakes and I was costing the station money. I eventually got canned over it, kind of hurt, but it made me realize that there has to be a separation of power, which needs to be happening now in this government. There needs to be a separation of power. Right. And I need to keep my sons in this over here and this over here. And it cost me a job at the time. I got hired right away at another place, but thinking back, it cost me a job.
I just want to thank you for that's hard. That's hard to say, bro. You know what I mean?
It was tough. It was, and when they bring you in, you're like, yeah, we're gonna decide to let you go. We're gonna lay you off. And I said to him, am I coming back next week? Week after that? So I'm fired. I'm not laid off, right? I'm not coming back. He was like, well, no, we're just gonna lay you off. I said, that's what you said to make yourself feel good. You just fired me. Right. And I don't remember. I remember leaving that room, saying goodbye to my friends at ESPN. And the next thing I remember was sitting in my basement with my daughter on my lap crying. They said when I came around the corner, everyone on my block, they said you were kicking a rock. And we knew the minute that you walked around the corner that you had been fired. And they had a party set up for me because I was up for this job. And they had told me I got it the Friday before and I was all happy. They had a barbecue out on the block. They said everyone just kind of went separate directions and went back into their houses. And I just kind of walked in and sat in the basement and cried. Long story short, a good ending to the story.
Yeah.
Mitch Rose hired me 6 hours later. Called me, said, you want a job? I was like, yeah. He said, come on down tomorrow morning.
And to that point of even furthermore into where you are right now in your career, you're doing great things, man.
I've been successful. It's tough. Earl can tell you it's tough to stay in the number 3 market and never leave and to be very successful in it. Knock on wood. I hope I continue to be successful at this. I've worked hard to get to where I am. I can't remember the last day I called off. I don't remember the last day I took a vacation.
But you've overcome hurdles
Yeah.
to continue to follow your passion.
As Denora said, that the race is it's just not a world built towards us, the four of us at this table. It's just not. It's not a world built around us.
And that's
we have to fight to get in.
You know what though? That
we get
when
in.
you say that, it can be, and it's not about race, right? It's about people understanding the value of people,
right? But it's not at this level. That's got to be at a higher level.
You know what?
This is what I believe.
We're at the level of the higher.
We can start affecting change.
We are the social media change.
We can.
We are the people. We are the change, right?
But when it all comes down,
start somewhere.
True, but when you get into this business, in this corporate world, and it all comes down, there's always generally some man at the top that's not like us.
That's
that
why
doesn't want to give
of changing how we look at how we
that goes
staff.
into attitude though. Like that could say like, you know, how you react to it. That could go back to the attitude. You just have to understand that there's a bigger picture, bigger things at play.
Right. I've never had a bad attitude at work. There's not a person at work that doesn't like me. There's not a person at that station. From station to station. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't liked everyone I've worked with, but I respect them for the fact that they're men and women and they work and they're feeding their family. And maybe I don't respect everything you do over there, but here in this room, I have to respect you to make us work well together and to make it work. So
respect.
And you have to give that respect. You're not always gonna like everyone you work with. I don't respect everything everyone
you respect,
does,
but you respect what the goal at hand is.
I respect that we're all pulling in the same direction.
So much as you both have a mission. Here's where you're part of that mission, and here's where the mission still has to be.
That goes back to attitude too, though. It's just I keep a good attitude at work. I don't let anything affect me at work. I smile, I laugh, I joke, I make other people smile, laugh, and have fun. It just makes it easier. I refuse to have a bad time. I'm not going to fight with you. I'll go over here. You know, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to yell and scream. Yeah. Although there has been days where there has been a day or two where Ernie kind of let somebody have it.
So again, hey, thank y'all for checking in. You know, we'll leave it with one last thing. You know, we're here on IntellectualRadio.com. My little guy's out there tired. He's like, oh, Dad, I need to go home. Is there anything y'all would like to leave us with before I kind of I want to tell a story I feel that's helped me get through some attitudinal changes in my life where I had to really determine how I changed my attitude. Is there anything y'all would want to cover, speak light to, or just reiterate about what we've talked about?
Yeah, I would just like to touch on however you wake up, just remember that you woke up, and that's a big part of the day.
You're on the right side of the dirt.
And not everyone can say that, you know, rest of the souls that have passed, but that's something to take in mind when you think of attitude. Just like, you know, I'm here.
Wake up and
be good.
You're on the right side of the dirt
today. Yeah.
Oh, man says that to me all the time. I'm on the right side of the dirt today, Ernie.
Yeah.
You are. You're on
the dirt, the bed, whatever you want to call it. You know, the right side of the coffin, the church. Like, it's about waking up with a positive mental mindset and capacity.
Or at least getting there. You may not always wake up positive. There's mornings when I wake up and I'm upset. I know I got a hard day ahead of me. I know I got a hard week ahead of me, but I get myself into a position where I can attack that week. I can.
You create habits though, right? With that, right? You don't just be like one day, oh, I'm gonna wake up happy today. You're like, no, I did yoga 8 days in a row. I'm going to wake up happy on the ninth day because that's my habit I formed.
Some people, that's what it is. But you have to be able to get yourself in the position. I've walked out of the house irritated, but when I walk into work, I'm generally happy. I love what I do. I love what I do. I could work 24 hours in a day. I probably wouldn't mind at all.
Yeah.
Love what I do.
Yeah. I love it. So again, for those y'all checking in, one of my passions has just been helping people. You know, my mom's a helper. My dad's a helper. I've always wanted to help. I don't know if I really defined my passion up until the past 10 years or so. And the second I started to at least work on following that passion or defining it or understanding what it is, things just started to unravel for me in the most positive way that I could ever hope on anyone. And so, with folks 17 to 24 that are trying to get into the workforce, as Dom recently has, as well as talking with people that are 20 over, trying to redefine a passion, trying to figure out what they were passionate about 50 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it may be, trying to still uncover what that is or trying to follow it. I want to reach all those people because I think that we need to talk about it, about our differences, how we overcome those, how we bounce off each other and try and collaborate, right? Not create so much separation, right? How are we all trying to live in our own individual environments here, whether it be politically, racially, ethnically, but then within our work environments, how do we collaborate where we're all still able to find that passion, follow it, define it, whatever you got to do. And so that's the reason for having this. I love it. I love Ernie's honest opinion of what he's given. Again, a friend, a father, a husband, an engineer, a commercial producer at one of the greatest radio stations in the country, Denora, a project manager, a friend, just a helper for me, right? We've had conversations where, God, who do I have to lean on when it comes to business sense? You've been there for me. Thank you. And my boy Dom, right? Not my first mentee from Europe, but one that will be remembered for a while because the energy that he brings to the table is unprecedented at someone your age. And I think the thought process you bring, I love, man.
Dom, can I ask how old you are?
23.
I was wondering. I haven't asked you yet. 24, 25. Okay, 23.
24 March 21st.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're gonna party it up.
Spring.
So, again, just to sum it up, we're here on IntellectualRadio.com. If you ever want to call in, Tuesdays, 7 p.m., number 708-223-8953. We just want to be inspired, but we also want to inspire people by stories that we bring on to the show. I'm not an expert. No one here is an expert. We're just here trying to have an open forum to try and help. I think there's just a lot of people out in the world that need help, that want help, that don't have a place to call in for help. And there's hotlines, right? Don't get me wrong. But like, you're at work, right? Do you need to call into one of those hotlines, or do you just want to call in somewhere? It's a work hotline, right? That you could talk about work things that you're passionate about challenges you're facing as you're trying to get through to that passion. We want to be here for you. So again, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Instagram, follow me. Your passion, 1ST. Your passion first. All right. No, you don't got that.
Ernie.
His name's Ernie.
I don't do that Instagram.
Hey, listen, he's not. I'm trying to get
I'm OG.
I'm trying to get my feet up. I'm trying to get my feet up. OG. Ernie Scatton, WGN Radio, engineer, commercial producer, and just awesome person. Denora,
who's burning hot right now? Yeah.
Instagram feed, no? You follow my vibe?
Jump on my vibe.
Jump on my vibe. Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's
Jump
okay.
on my vibe.
Domo Exodus. Follow me.
Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Again, IntellectualRadio.com. This is Principles of Passion, episode number 3. Attitude is everything.
Principles of Passion.
Passion, a powerful, compelling emotion or desire for something.
Hey, this is Chris Thomas here on IntellectualRadio.com.
It's Principles of Passion.
I've learned a lot there, and I've done it on a bigger platform, and I've followed my passion.
Here's your host, Chris Thomas, with Denora and Dominic Cimino on IntellectualRadio.com.